Okay. When I started sharing my journal, which if you go scrolling and you will see on my Facebook Lives that I uploaded onto YouTube, I'm reading from my journals in some of those. But when I started sharing, I initially started off on WordPress. And then something started happening on my Facebook, and I was like, why am I doing this on WordPress and not on Facebook? So I started a page on Facebook. And the very first post that I posted to Facebook from my WordPress, because all I did was I just transferred everything over, and then I started, I kept writing on Facebook, was January 30th, 2020. And hold on, I gotta go down. Let me tell you what, this was hard to find because my computer is acting up. And I had to go into the activity log to get to this thing without the system crashing on me. So the very first thing that I had put in here was my Dark Night of the Soul experience. Now, this initially was 3 parts, which I put into 1 part. So, January 30, 2020, I shared the Dark Night of the Soul blog post as a post from my journal. I just said a German word right up in that. Did y'all catch it? It slipped German right up in that bitch. It's from 2018. Calm your shit, throat chakra. It's been doing this all day. Okay. Dark Night of the Soul. My experience. This is the longest post I will probably ever have on here. It wasn't. It's not. But again, this was 2020, so what did I know, right? It was a 3-part post on my blog on WordPress. I made it one here to spare you the scrolling and searching for the other parts. If you want to share your experience or ask anything, please feel free to do so in the comments or send me a message, whichever you feel comfortable with. If you are experiencing insane depression, feeling like nothing is real, or healing from an abusive relationship, or you are dating an addict, if you feel like you are waking up and leaving the matrix, but you have no idea what is going on, you are not alone. I have been there. I am sharing my experience. This is copied from my blog, trigger warning, all of the things. If you're not ready to read someone's real life story about their darkest emotional state or about the effects of abuse or addiction, come back when you feel safe. If you are experiencing an awakening or a dark night of the soul, and you feel alone, afraid, and insane, then please have a look. This is a 3-part post from my blog, my journal entries and poetry. Poetry that I wrote down back then. This is not my current state. I am sharing this for those who feel hopeless. Those who see my new posts will see what I mean when I say huge shift. I know that right now you feel shitty, but it will pass, and you will appreciate this phase later on. I am proof, and Spirit wants me to share. Much love. Also, this is a long post. Hold on, let me drink some water real quick. I paused that at 3:23 in case anybody's doing number searches. Dark Night of the Soul, Part 1. In the first few posts, I want to share how I was launched into a depression. Why can't I talk today? Launched into a depression so severe, I literally thought I was losing my mind. I will post the poem I wrote back in June 2018, and then you can read the background story to it. I figured if you read the poem first, you will be able to see if you are interested in how it came to be. The poem is about my relationships with addicts. June 25, 2018. I fell in love with meth and heroin. Never-ending emptiness has always been my fear. I wake up every morning thinking, how did I get here? Fragments of my soul are missing. They fucking disappeared. Given the circumstances, I guess that I can deal while I try to figure out what was really real. Nothing I do seems to work. Wish I could numb the pain with Percocet, contemplating what I did to make the gods upset. Should I have given up, let go, just breathe, like everybody else, hiding in my false reality of never-ending shame? I know better, I think, than to believe that I am the one to blame. One made himself sick because I wanted him to stay. The other because he didn't want me to go away with his heart, and I admit I've made decisions that weren't very smart. I did the same thing every year on repeat and expected a new result. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Hello, myself, insane as me. Forever alone, this feeling inside. I wish that I could hide away and cry, or suck it up and find a high until the pain subsides. Is this what you feel when you need a dose? Your medicine that makes you feel alive. One used dirty needle at a fucking time. Hold on, babe, you left your pipe. I won't do the drugs with you, but I will give you the free ride, because if I refuse, I am wrong. This is all your fault. I am in charge of my body. These drugs are mine. Stop caring so much. It's not my fault that you won't give it a try. I am covered in bruises, inside and out, trying to find the key to unlock the door to my subconsciousness because my soul is restless. Trying to reconnect myself, embrace myself, remember who I really am. I sit and smile and laugh sometimes, even though the noise, it bothers me, but the silence is so much louder, the broken voice, it screams, how did your addiction have so much power over me? Emotions, too tortured to explain. This is so annoying. Hold on. Sorry, I told you my computer's messing up. This is why I went on TikTok talking about, like, somebody help me fix my computer. Anyways, too tortured to explain. I wonder if one day I'll look back and not remember your name, because everything that was, is, and has yet to come feels like a dream. When did I become so undone? I wish I knew what Karma wrote about me in her memoirs, because the longing for death must mean that my evils were without remorse. Maybe one day I will have more to say to explain the torment that every day inflicts. But for now, I hope you never know what it means to be addicted to an addict. So here it goes. In 2013, while I was in the USA, I met a man. He was charming and funny and smart, you know, the typical narcissist before you see his true colors. I love him still, but man, was he a ride. We had a fling. I got pregnant despite birth control and the morning after pill. My fairy baby was determined to be here with me. He was not happy about the pregnancy. He was an addict, which at that point did not matter to me because up until then, everything between us was just physical. I smoked marijuana, but that was it. He didn't do drugs around me. At first, I wasn't even able to tell when he was high because I was naive. Side note, for those who did not watch the other post that I made, during my transition and transformations and healing process, there are words that I no longer relate to at all. Narcissist is one of them. Because we'll get to that when I get to that blog post. I'm not even gonna. Anyways, because this is long enough to read. So, I was naive. He didn't work. He did not care about other people, really. He had children he was not there for. He had a sad story, though. Just pause at 8:08. Damn. Okay. He had a sad story, though, of course. After a few years of on and off relationships and him being clean and relapsing, being kind and then being abusive, gaslighting, stealing, and becoming physically abusive at times, I finally decided to leave for good in 2017. At this point, I was pregnant with our second child, which was a total shock. I had an appointment to get my tubes tied and found out not even 2 weeks before that I was pregnant. Side note, which is not in here. It was, once you get to that whole time travel understanding thing, the reason that happened was to keep me alive. We called in a baby to keep me from killing myself or being killed. Again, that goes into time travel stuff and seeing timelines. At this point, he had been doing well. He was finally working and being a good boyfriend. He was amazing when he wasn't drinking or getting high. Even high, he was still tolerable, even if he did work on random projects for 20 hours straight. The abuse came with the alcohol. His cycles became clear to me a long time ago. When I took him back the last time, I had set clear boundaries, which he ended up crossing as usual. It ended up in my leaving America, the place that I truly identified as my home. I moved back to Germany. Now, I know this sounds stupid, but that man was my everything. I loved him in a way I had never loved anyone before. He accepted every part of my being, embraced my darkness, knew how to calm my bipolar crazy, and don't get me started on the sex. Yep. Okay. Between our cycles of stupid, I was in a 2-year relationship with a man who did care and love me and the kids. He fell in love with my kids before he fell in love with me, and I was okay with that. Problem was, he was addicted to a drug of his own. It took a few trial runs, but he did get clean. There were relapses. There was drug court for charges he caught while we were not together. Eventually, he became too miserable being clean, and he is a very unpleasant person when he gets depressed. I fell in love with him when we were just friends on a mission to get him clean. Again, I never touched that stuff either. In the time I was in the town I lived in, I started seeing everyone around me fall into one bag of a drug or another, and somehow I was the only one who made it out without having done any of them. Don't get me wrong, I had my share of pills, but I never made them a priority or a need. I'm talking about prescription pills. I won't tell lies or hide anything here. That beats the point of my doing this. I have an addictive personality. I learned through my sex and alcohol phases. I also learned how to control it. I healed. That's another story. Me being exposed to addiction and abuse made me realize my life purpose, though. When I came back to Germany... Damn it, why does it keep doing that? When I came back to Germany, I was very depressed and pregnant. After the baby was born, there came a day I was finally able to get some of my thoughts out in writing. This was one of the first poems I had written in over 2 years. It was about the 2 men I loved, who loved their drugs more than me, and how their behavior broke me. In the end, I have no regrets. I still love them both deeply. It does not matter how much pain they caused me, because ultimately, I was the one who gave them that power. It was my fault I let them into my life. However, I believe we meet people for a reason. One of my life cycles was being confronted with addiction and abuse. I just did not realize it until I moved back to Germany after spending 7 years in the States. The father of my girls is a soulmate. He's actually part of the triple flame thing, which, another blog post. But I do have a video up here. The very first one I think I posted talks about how the twin flame journey is not 2, it's 3. And then on TikTok you will find the quantum physics to back it up. Anyways. The father of my girls is a soulmate, a karmic one, which is something I put in here because later on... Anyways, I have so many stories to back that claim up, that he's a soulmate. The most important being, leaving him caused my dark night of the soul. I'm going to break this down into a few blog posts. Don't worry about how you feel now, there will be magic. And then the second part of that post... My computer in this page are annoying the fuck out of me. There's a little musical interlude, 12:44. If you didn't read part 1 of this post, I suggest you give it a quick look over if you want the background story to what I'm about to share. As I mentioned in the last blog, I am sharing my journal entries that show how I felt, how I perceived things, and how miserable I was in general. What I thought was a possible psychosis ended up being what is called the dark night of the soul. This is a phase, or even multiple phases in your life, where your ego is undergoing a shattering transition. It is when a part of you is destroyed so that you can be rebuilt in the original image of God, which is light, okay? So this is not about God as in the Bible. To me, when they say we are made in his image, we are essentially light beings. Because what one may call God or Shiva or universal power or Gaia, it is all about pure love and light, energy. That is what we are. That is what everything is. Therefore, we are all connected. Our souls know everything, we just forget. The dark night is a transition that takes place so that we can reconnect with our soul. Remember that poem in my last blog. In it I mentioned trying to reconnect with my soul and being lost, and at that point I had no idea that the dark night of the soul was even a thing. I just wrote what I felt, and it was not until 2019, a year after I wrote the poem, that I found out about it. Everything comes together and makes sense. I promise to stick around for a while. Here's the journal entry. February 7, 2018. Side note, my daughter was already born. I was no longer pregnant. I just want to put that in here. February 7, 2018. It's like everything that happened is starting to come back to me as if it were a dream, as if it never really happened. And then I get sad as fuck, because if it never happened, then who is this person I love and left behind? My friends, my memories... It feels like a dream. Maybe it never happened, and I ask myself, am I really seriously crazy? Am I clinically insane? Is this what a psychosis feels like? I feel like nothing is real anymore, and it is scaring the shit out of me. Because if nothing is real, then what is the point in being alive to feel like this? Everything feels so far away and without meaning, and sometimes it's like I can feel his presence, but I know he isn't here, and he can never just show up like he did before because I left the States. Side note, what I recognize now is that presence, when I felt him, it was because he is a carrier of my divine masculine energy, and the divine masculine energy will come to us, or the feminine energy will come to us to provide comfort and help us and guide us. I feel like nothing is real anymore. I said that. Okay, I found where I was. Everything feels so far away and without meaning, and sometimes it's like I can feel his presence, but I know he isn't here, and he can never just show up like he did before because I left the States. I did not go across town or country. I crossed the ocean, where he can never come back, and fuck, that hurts so damn bad. I haven't been able to explain this, and it's been killing me because I want to know what I am feeling, and it makes no sense, but I can't express it. This is the best way I can put it, and I had to get hella lit. I smoked some weed, guys. That's why I said I already had the baby. Although I personally don't have a problem with smoking marijuana during pregnancies. Just gonna put that out there. This is the best way I can put it, and I had to get hella lit to get to this point, being able to explain it at all. Or like, is this the dream? Having the baby. A sense like in a movie where a person has two lives, but one of them is all in their head. That's it, I guess. It's like it is all in my head, and reality doesn't feel real anymore. Is that even safe? Or sane? It's like when you binge watch a TV show for days straight, and then you reach the season finale, and it ends, and you feel like, I'm not even sure, like you lost something. Like they took something from you. You feel lost. Grief in a way. Am I mourning? No one died. Maybe I am mourning myself. Or a relationship, multiple relationships, and friendships that ended because they all at some point became addicted to drugs. How is it that I've never did them? You'd think I would have, but I saw what others turned into, and I didn't want to become that. I'm pretty sure I would do drugs right now, though. It seems worth it, so I don't have to feel like this. Remember, that was written in February 2018. That entry shows that abusive relationships cause withdrawals, something I did not know about until a friend who had gone to therapy for years because of just that told me about it. I was also already doing shadow work. I have a blog on what shadow work is, how to do it, and how it heals us as well. My next post will be about a journal entry I made roughly 2 weeks after this one. Don't be afraid of the darkness, you're just getting reunited with your magic. Now, in that specific journal entry, I was also taking accountability. I was saying that it was my own fault because I let them into my life. Alright? That's like step one. Acknowledgement, accountability. Alright, Dark Night of the Soul, Part 3. This post has the next entry in my journal from February 2018. At this point, my bipolar and anxiety medication has had a few weeks to kick in and do their thing. For the first time since I had left what I considered home in the USA, October 2017, I was able to go a day without crying. Can you imagine the pain, crying every single day for months? Hell and heaven are a state of mind, and I have been to my hell. The difference on medication was pretty big, but my thoughts were still very dark and I was still lost. I wrote prose that same day that expressed how I felt, trapped within my own insanity. Hold on. My journal entry from February 16, 2018. I feel better with the meds. I have more control. Never forget how shitty it is when you are not medicated. Side note, I have been off bipolar medication for over a year now. You can't go without meds, not without peace and smoke. I made that side note. I don't know when I made that side note, but I stopped taking my meds in 2018. So there's that. Because I think I came in and made that side note later on, just to kind of edit that part. You can't go without meds, not without peace and smoke and ganja. That is, don't do that either anymore. I don't smoke weed anymore. On occasion I do, but I haven't for a while now. I feel alone, isolated, betrayed, guilty, ashamed, stupid, confused, detached, like my life was a dream and I was in a deep sleep and something ripped me out of it, and I can feel the dream fading away, and it is breaking my heart every time that feeling takes over because I lost it all. I was having a spiritual awakening, guys. I didn't fucking know. But it's right there. I'm waking up from a dream. I'm waking up. Read your old poetry, songs, journals. You will see you've had all the answers all along, guys. Yup, I lost my life, I lost my love, I lost myself, and it sucks. I get so mad sometimes, and I want to talk to him and tell him what a piece of shit he is. Call him out on all his bullshit, make him hurt, make him think, make him feel regret. But I can't and shouldn't. I hate this. It's killing me. How do I make it stop? How do I stop missing a lie? Why do I miss someone who made me want to die? Fuck. End of journal entry. Now the poem I wrote. In case anybody's wondering, yes, he has read this. I sent it to him when he was in prison. He didn't go to prison because of anything he did to me, though. There's that. And we still talk. We get along. We're fine. Asylum. I was lost inside my own home, never knowing when your addiction would make you roam. I gave you all I had to give, my life, my love, my time, but you're mad inside, you always turn to crime. I never thought I'd lose myself in your sick reality. Now everything feels far away. I'm discombobulated, empty. A vessel yearning to be filled. You showed no remorse when my core was killed. Somehow you lured me into your hell and left me there to bleed. My soul is screaming out in agony. Someone grant me sanctuary from my own insanity. I took the names you called me and hung them on the wall, turned away from lies and rage, too late to stop my fall. I dodged the things you threw at me. I loved you through it all. You knew everything about me, the good, the bad, the darkness deep within. Your aggressive selfishness and immaturity let your light shine dim. You're Dr. Jekyll and then you're Mr. Hyde, stealing the very life from me and making it seem alright. I'm a joyless shell of who I used to be, an empty vessel yearning to be filled. You didn't know I'd become detached once my strength was killed. I tried to help you escape your hell, and you left me here to bleed. Now I'm rotting in the cell, alone with my insanity. After this entry, I only had one more journal entry that was about physical pain I was having. After that, I did not write until around my hysterectomy in April of 2019. My yearning for home came in 2017, and the move back to my childhood home was when my mind started to shift into a more conscious state, and I was working on becoming more in control of my feelings and my anxiety. What I did not realize at that point was that I had begun my shadow work, confronting my demons to overcome the pain they caused, the pain I caused myself. Today I don't struggle with mental illness. It's something I had to live with and heal from to help others who are having the same problems. Some of you see my new posts. There's a huge difference to where I was 2 years ago. Whatever struggles you have in life right now, however painful losing touch with the matrix is, keep pushing. The darkness will pass. The light is inside you. Please understand that this dark night of the soul is just the beginning. You are waking up. Your light is beyond your shadow, waiting to take over so you can be happy and live the life you want to live. Rise and shine, baby. It's time to heal. So that's the very first sharing of my diary journal that I did, which is here. February 7, 2018. I know that's backwards. Hold on. See? It's like everything that happened is starting to come back. As if I was in a dream. And I had taken this out of the other journal. See, February 16, my meds. Sorry. February 16, the poem. April 15. This is me talking about random stuff. Alright, so from April 15, the reason I didn't put that online is because there's like other people's, stuff in there. My friends Lisa and David at the time they got married. But here I was saying that my back is bad and it really hurts and I need to get it checked. Said I need more motivation, I need to lose weight. And the problem, my back pain was coming from scar tissue that had wrapped itself around multiple organs and attached itself to my muscles and to my spinal area. Which they realized during my hysterectomy, which led me to a bleeding out experience and into a whole new level of a spiritual awakening. But those are other posts. So, that's that. Dark Night of the Soul. Let me see what the next one was. Alright, so the next post that I had on my Facebook was Enlightenment, a process. So that's going to be the next one that I read. Alright, bye!